what to see, what to rent, and what to skip. It's Movie Reviews with Ryan J.
That's right. We are back with nationally syndicated and rarely controversial film critic Ryan J. It's so good to have you here. Welcome.
Glad to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's the end of the year.
Happy New Year.
We've seen all these, top 10 lists and best movies of the year. Did you do anything for that?
I did. I always do a top 10 list every year. So mine for 2014 is now up at my website.
Okay.
Top 10 of the year. It's hard to pick just 10.
Did you do them in order, like
Number 10.
Yeah, number 10
and then number 1.
Okay, you do.
Yeah. So
you want to tell us your top 3, or do you want to keep it a surprise?
It's all out there, but I think a lot of my top 5 are currently playing. So Birdman, Imitation Game, what else do I have? Unbroken and Into the Woods. Those are in my top 5. Whiplash is the only one in my top 5 that I think is not currently in theaters.
Okay.
And your number 1 was?
Into the Woods.
Into the Woods.
Yeah.
Yay! Okay, so those are some good ones. You can get the full top 10 list on your website. But you did some movie reviews for us, so we know if we're going to save some money, see, rent, or skip these.
Yes.
The Woman in Black 2 is your first one. Angel of Death, PG-13.
Right, and this is the sequel, and I don't know how many people even heard of The Woman in Black.
I saw it.
You did?
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, and it starred Daniel Radcliffe. I recommended that movie. I liked it a lot. It's very moody and eerie and a great haunted house and monster movie. And this one, that one was in 2012, so it's a couple years later, but I think it's interesting with horror movies that they don't necessarily have to be blockbusters to warrant a sequel, because that one only made about $54 million at the box office, and yet we have this one.
So why did they make a sequel then? Just because it was...
I think they could afford it, and they probably had another story to tell.
That's a good point.
And what about Daniel Radcliffe then? Is he in the sequel?
He's not. This one actually takes place 40 years after his first film. And so there's a new cast, and this one stars, it has another Harry Potter actor in it, Helen McCrory, who is Draco Malfoy's mom from the Harry Potter series. She's in this, as is Jeremy Irvine, who was in Steven Spielberg's War Horse movie, and they're great. The cast is phenomenal. Very, very strong.
Okay, and how about the design?
It's a beautiful design. It's very creepy and eerie, and even like all of the props in the movie, and then the scoring to the film, it really makes you feel uncomfortable. I mean, I wasn't terrified by this movie by any means, but I saw it last night at a sleep, and when I got home, I was definitely turning lights on.
You
were?
That's a good sign.
So you didn't were you jumping during it, or gripping your muscles?
I jumped a bunch of times,
Did
and
you?
actually the 6th time that I jumped, I was like, seriously, what's happening here? But they're not authentic scares. Every time I jumped was because of manipulation in the editing, which I think is a really lazy way to make
you mean something pops out at you?
Yeah, they just edit something really quickly that startles you. It's not really you're scared. It's just really manipulative editing in a horror film. That irritates me.
Well, hey, it works though.
It works, but it's lazy.
So compared to the first one?
The first one's better. This one just basically, if you've seen the first one, which I recommend seeing, it's a very fresh, original mythology of this monster and who the Woman in Black is. And it's scary and effective there. This one basically rehashes that and brings back new blood to the old place. So it's a rental.
All right, rent it.
Okay.
Save your money.
See the first one, wait till this one's available to rent, and then you can rent them both.
All right. Well, then let's move on to the big controversial film, right? The Interview.
The Interview.
What'd you think?
Well, in this movie, what's interesting is that it really proves that there is no such thing as bad press, no matter how unintentional, no matter how much it raises awareness for national security or hacking Sony and the rest of it. But in the short time it's been released for digital download in a couple indie theaters that have run it, it's made close to $20 million already.
Oh my gosh.
Kind of it was off limits, I think, was a huge part of it. But what do you think of like Seth Rogen and James Franco? Because they're big names. They did this. What'd you think?
I love them, and they're just like us. They're besties in real life, and it's so much fun watching. They have such a bromance in this film. Seth is better than James. I'm a bigger fan of James than Seth, but Seth is very natural and funny and good in this. And James, I've never seen him like this. He's almost like a caricature in a comedy. He's overacting like crazy. He's chewing the scenery, and he really brings down, I think, the comedy factor in this movie because he's overacting so much. So he's very inauthentic, but I love what he's wearing. Literally everything James Franco wears in this movie, I want in my closet.
There you go.
It's incredible costume.
He almost looked like Ryan Seacrest.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't that kind of weird?
A little bit. The hair.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
And maybe the clothes because of that. What kind of humor is it? Is it very Team America humor?
Yeah, it's very dirty humor.
Yeah.
Raunchy?
Lots of raunchy. You've got that, and then you've got the toilet humor and the rest of it. And I'm not a big fan of all those things, but I did LOL quite a bit. So there were a few times, and I watched it at home alone. Digital download through iTunes, and I thought it was pretty funny at times. Yeah.
And the whole, does it live up to the hype with all the controversy?
Not really. Like even the actor Randall Park, who plays Kim Jong-un, like he was born and raised in LA. He does a very American version of, you know, I was like, this is what made North Korea go ballistic. Like it's not that offensive. I mean, aside from the actual plot of the film, I was like, I couldn't believe that this really sparked the controversy that it did. But I say it's a rental. I feel like, you know, at this point, it's really our American duty to see this movie. Hashtag over in North Korea, see the movie. You know, it's worth checking out. So.
All right, good to know. You got some movie clubs coming up for people.
Yeah, there are actually 2. You have a choice this week because there are 2 and they're both Tuesday nights. So you have to choose one or the other if you're going to enter to win. The first one is Selma, which is the new movie about Martin Luther King Jr. and it is Tuesday, January 6th at 7 p.m.
Okay.
And if you don't want to come to that one, you have the option of coming to see Inherent Vice, which is the other option, and that is the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie, and that is also January 6th at 7 p.m. You go to my website, ryanjreviews.com, to enter to win either of those.
How are you going to do that?
Well, I've seen them both because I have award screeners, but I'm going to go to one. I just won't reveal which yet.
Okay.
So, I'll be there, yeah.
All right, good. So go to Ryan J's website. You can like him on Facebook, follow him on Twitter, and for his full reviews, check out his website, ryanjreviews.com. That's also where his top 10 movies list of 2014 is. Thanks so much, Ryan.
Thank you, too.
Fun stuff. All right.